Hello. Welcome to the Learn American English channel, where you learn naturally so you can speak naturally. In this video, we are going to listen to conversations about space. This video is divided into two parts, where the characters will discuss various topics related to space and the phenomena occurring there. There will be a listening comprehension quiz at the end of each scene. So, listen carefully and see if you get all of the questions right. Also, be sure to stay with us until the end of the video. We'll point out important words from the conversations, everyday slang, and the most common way to say things in English. Watch for these words and phrases in the subtitles. You'll find their meanings in the vocabulary section in the last part of the video. Are you excited? This should be fun. First, let's listen to a conversation between teacher Vicky and Theo, as Theo clarifies some things about space to his teacher. Let's see how their conversation goes, and don't forget to note the highlighted words for their meanings at the end of this video. Let's dive in.
Hi, Theo. What brings you to the science lab today?
Hi, Miss Vicky. I was reading a book about space and got really curious. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course, I love talking about space. Fire away.
Why do astronauts float in space? Is there no gravity?
Good question. There is gravity in space, but astronauts float because they are in free fall. It's like when you jump off a diving board and feel like you're falling.
Oh, I see. What about black holes? They seem really scary.
Black holes are interesting. They have very strong gravity, so strong that nothing can escape, not even light. But don't worry, we are very far from any black holes.
That's a relief. I also heard that the universe is getting bigger. How do we know that?
Great question. We know because of something called redshift. When we look at faraway galaxies, their light looks more red. This means they are moving away from us, like when a car drives away and the sound gets quieter.
That's amazing. It's like the universe is a balloon getting bigger. How do scientists see these things?
Scientists use telescopes. Some are on Earth and some are in space, like the Hubble Space Telescope. These telescopes help us see very far into space.
It's like seeing back in time. Can we visit other planets or moons in the future?
It's possible. Space agencies are working on missions to explore other planets and moons. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon and eventually send astronauts to Mars. Private companies are also developing technologies to make space travel more accessible.
That sounds like an exciting future. How do scientists know what the planets and moons are like if we haven't been there yet?
Scientists send spacecraft and probes to explore them. These missions gather data through instruments that measure things like temperature, composition, and magnetic fields. They send this information back to Earth, which helps us learn about distant places without actually being there.
It's incredible how much we can learn from these missions. Maybe one day I can be an astronaut or an astronomer.
You can do it, Theo. With your curiosity, you can reach for the stars. Keep asking questions and learning new things.
Thanks, Miss Vicky. I feel like I learned a lot today.
Anytime, Theo. Remember, the sky's the limit.
Here are some listening comprehension questions to see how well you understood the conversation between teacher Vicky and Theo. Why do astronauts float in space? Astronauts float because they are in free fall. What makes black holes special? Black holes have very strong gravity that nothing can escape, not even light. What do scientists use to see far into space? Scientists use telescopes to see far into space. So, did you get all the questions correct? Let us know in the comments section. Now let's listen to a conversation between Savannah and Austin as Savannah interviews Austin about a particular space phenomenon. Let's see how their conversation goes, and don't forget to note the highlighted words for their meanings at the end of this video. Let's begin.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Savannah Thompson, and tonight on The Universe Unveiled, we have a special guest who's out of this world, literally. Joining us is Dr. Austin Reed, a renowned space expert. Austin, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Savannah. It's a pleasure to be here and dive into the cosmos with you.
Absolutely. Let's dive right into it. We've been hearing a lot about pulsars lately. They've got quite a buzz. Can you tell us what a pulsar is and why it's creating such a stir?
Of course, a pulsar is a special type of star. After a big star explodes, what's left behind is a very dense star called a neutron star. Some of these neutron stars are pulsars. They spin very fast and send out beams of radiation.
So a pulsar is like a spinning lighthouse in space. How do scientists find them?
That's right. We find pulsars by looking at the beams of radiation they send out. These beams reach Earth, and we can see them with special telescopes. It's like catching a signal from a faraway radio station.
That's amazing. Are there any new discoveries about pulsars that you find interesting?
Yes, some pulsars spin incredibly fast, up to hundreds of times per second. These are called millisecond pulsars. They help scientists learn more about how gravity works and what matter is like in extreme conditions.
It sounds like pulsars are very important for science. There's another exciting topic that's been making waves: gravitational waves. Can you explain what they are and why they're important?
Certainly, Savannah. Gravitational waves are ripples in space caused by extremely powerful events like when two black holes or neutron stars collide. They're a bit like throwing a pebble into a pond and watching the ripples spread out.
That sounds intriguing. How do scientists detect these ripples?
Detecting them is quite tricky because the waves are incredibly faint by the time they reach us. Scientists use special instruments like LIGO, which can measure tiny changes in distance, smaller than the width of a human hair, caused by these waves.
Wow, that's impressive. What have we learned from studying gravitational waves so far?
Gravitational waves have helped us see events that we couldn't observe before, like the collision of black holes. This has given us new insights into how these massive objects behave and interact.
That's really exciting. Before we finish, do you have any advice for people who are interested in space?
Just remember, the universe is full of wonders, and every new discovery helps us understand a little bit more about our place in it. Keep your curiosity alive and never stop exploring. The cosmos is waiting with more secrets to unveil.
Well said, Austin. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and shining a light on these incredible cosmic phenomena.
My pleasure, Savannah. Thanks for having me.
And to our viewers, keep reaching for the stars and stay curious. Until next time, this is Savannah Thompson signing off from The Universe Unveiled.
Before we review the key vocabulary from these conversations, here are some listening comprehension questions to see how well you understood the conversation between Savannah and Austin. What is left behind after a big star explodes? A neutron star. How do scientists find pulsars? Scientists find pulsars by looking at the beams of radiation they send out. What are pulsars that spin incredibly fast called? They are called millisecond pulsars. So how many questions did you get right? Let us know in the comment section. Now let's review the vocabulary from these conversations. First, we'll review some of the natural-sounding everyday phrases used by native English speakers. Watch the video again after you study the vocabulary words to learn them even better, and subscribe to see our other videos. Fire away. Start asking questions or speaking freely. A relief. A feeling of reassurance or comfort after something stressful or worrying. Out of this world. Extremely good or impressive. Shining a light on. To highlight or make something more visible. Stay curious. To keep asking questions and wanting to learn more. Now let's review other key vocabulary. Astronaut. A person who travels into space. Gravity. The force that pulls objects towards each other, like how objects fall to the ground. Pulsar. A type of star that sends out beams of radiation and spins very fast. Neutron star. A very dense star that remains after a big star explodes. Cosmos. The universe or space as a whole. Were the conversations relatable? Try using these conversations with your family and friends. Thank you for watching the Learn American English channel, where you learn naturally so you can speak naturally. Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this one.